Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me here today. And if you'd like to follow along, we'll be in the 10th chapter of Proverbs, starting in the 22nd verse. This last section of this chapter continues contrasting the righteous man, the wise man, with the wicked man, and showing us the results of those life choices. What happens if you choose to live righteously, and what happens if you choose to live wickedly or opposed to God's plan. And so we'll begin in verse 22. Excuse me. He says, "The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow to it." Very simply, he says the righteous man is blessed, and I don't think that when it says it makes him rich, that it means your bank account grows. But I think most of you joining us here this morning know that there's other ways to be rich. We're not really rich. Having a lot of money doesn't necessarily make you rich. There are some miserable rich people, and there are some truly satisfied poor people. And so he's saying they are, probably a better way of saying that is, that would be a little more accurate for us, is again, he blesses them. He gives them contentment in their condition, in whatever state they find themselves in. They are content. It is a sport to do It is a sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding hath wisdom. Again, the contrast. A fool, he says, enjoys being wicked. They enjoy being evil. A wise man, a godly man, doesn't say he doesn't do evil things, wicked things, or mischief, as this word uses, but he doesn't find any pleasure in it, not long-term pleasure. He may have fun for a moment, but then the Spirit of God that dwells in him begins to convict him and speak to his heart, and ultimately a wise man finds his joy in doing right things, in doing the things that God approves of. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Again, I don't think we can carry that to the extreme and say that the righteous man gets everything he wants, but again, he is satisfied with what he has, whereas I think the wicked man, no matter what he gets, he's never satisfied. He's never content with whatever comes his way. As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. The righteous man, the godly man, is able to stand. He has a solid foundation. But a wicked man, says he gets blown away. He gets tangled up in the world's problems, and the least thing just washes him away and ruins him. It doesn't take much to undermine his joy and his happiness, whereas the righteous man, he's anchored. I think of the phrase we use in some of our hymns, and standing on the solid rock. That's the picture that Solomon gives of a righteous man. As vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. One of the really sad things that Solomon points out here about the wicked man, and in this case, he's talking about a lazy man, somebody who's not a good worker, who's not a good employee. He says they're like vinegar. If you've ever, had vinegar, it's it'll get your attention if you just take a slurp of vinegar. And I think the other thing here that I have read is that if you do have bad teeth, that the vinegar hits your bad teeth, and will, if you've ever had a toothache, and you know what smoke in the eye does, that's what he says about a lazy man, an ungodly man. They're like a toothache. They're like smoke in the eye. If you've ever worked with somebody, and he says that what he's saying here is they're a pain for everybody else. It's not like they're just affecting their own life. They're a lazy person, a wicked person. He says is vinegar to everybody else's teeth. It's smoke in everyone else's eyes, and he says it affects everybody. And you've probably worked in situations like this, maybe in your family, where one person, their laziness, their wickedness affected everybody around them. And he says, verse 27, the fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. And again, we're talking about Proverbs here. This doesn't mean that occasionally, sometimes good people don't die young, and that sometimes wicked people live long lives. But he says, generally speaking, those who fear God have longer lives than those who are wicked. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. Again, the righteous man, generally speaking, his hopes are blessed by God, and the wicked man, he does without. He suffers. The way of the Lord is the strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Again, he just continues this same thought that a righteous man is blessed, and that he is more content, that he is satisfied of the things of God. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. We used that illustration a moment ago about standing on the solid rock. That the righteous are solid. They're standing on a firm foundation. They have confidence in the future, regardless of what the future may hold. They have confidence that God will take care of them moving forward. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The wise man gives wisdom. Seems like common sense, right? But the wicked tongue, the man with the wicked man, his tongue, he says his words are condemned. His words, it's again pretty obvious statement. The wise man speaks wisdom, and the wicked man speaks wickedness. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speak frowardness. Again, God's people, wise people, speak words that bless God and help others. Whereas the wicked man, his words tear down and hurt others and bring harm to those around them. And kind of went through these pretty quickly because it was a long section. And I hope you'll go back and maybe do a little personal study on these. But very simply, we see the blessing of the wise man and the end result of the wicked man. No matter what he has, he may have all the money a man could possibly want. He may have all kinds of things. He may have all kinds of garage full of cars, big fancy house. But what Solomon teaches here is ultimately they are destitute. They are broke. They are poor because they don't have God, and ultimately the day will come when they will be judged and they will be measured and found wanting. Whereas we have a completely different picture of a righteous man, that he may not have all the world's stuff. He may not have all the money, but he has a satisfaction in his heart of knowing God and knowing that one day he will stand before God and hear those wonderful words, "Well done. Well done, my good and faithful servant." That is the hope of the righteous man. That is the contentment of the wise man, that he knows that this world is not everything. This world is not his home, that he is just passing through. And this morning I hope you are a wise man, wise woman, who has put your faith, your confidence in the Lord, and you have a hope. You may not have much money. The pantry may be empty, but you have a hope that this world does not understand. And if you don't have that hope, let me encourage you today to reach out to someone. Feel free to call. We'll tell you about how you can know Jesus Christ. Have a good day, and we'll see you here tomorrow.